The Flogcast may occasionally contain explicit content that makes it not safe for work or for minors. It also doesn't provide an excuse to use the same words on Bay 13. Normal Bigfooty rules still apply.
Alright, so this is the Flogcast for round 7. The number 1 fan of Hardwick from Richmond, Burnsy, is here, and I'm joined by the Andrew Mackey of podcasts from St Kilda, Cooksy.
Why are you speaking so slow?
Because we keep getting interrupted. Sorry, did Cookson say something?
Oh, no, but Dan did my intro. Couldn't think of anything funny, so thanks, Dan. Teamwork, man. That's the Flogcast way.
If I received the handball from Mackie, I don't think I'd accept it. I'd let my opposition player just take the ball. If you high-fived me after a goal, I'd have to call for the sanitizer to wash my hands.
The North equivalent of Plugger and Smasher, Dansy.
You saved that? You couldn't remember that off by heart?
The holder of Collingwood's 2016 leading goal kicker trophy, Morgsy.
Hello, everybody.
And the head of the Ty Vickery fan club from Hawthorn, Peensy.
I need ex-teammates to stick up for me.
What the hell's Peensy?
Well, that's his Paul Roosie nickname.
Listen, we're not going to run with this shit again. I mean, it was silly last week, and
We've run with the coin for like 5 weeks now, so maybe we will.
Well, I still have no idea why we're running with it in the first place. Look, the first time round, if it fluked 9 correct winners, okay, I would understand. But I mean, gee, what's the best the coin's ever done?
8.
6?
8.
It did 8
Not 10.
the second week.
When did it do 8?
The week you jumped off it.
Yeah, that would be right too.
Goo or Tears, who wants to go first?
I'm going to have Goo. Good footy on the weekend. About fucking time. Good defending as well. Dylan Robertson, All-Australian. Lock it in.
Who's Dylan Robertson? I'm not trolling. I'm being legitimate.
I think he's Russell Robertson's brother.
Oh, he's missing an S from his name. That's all I know.
Is Dylan Robertson a St Kilda footballer, is he?
Yeah,
Yes.
he is. Yeah.
He is? Okay.
Been bitching it so far this season.
Oh, good for Dylan. That's great.
I always thought he was a bit of an Andrew Mackey type.
Nah, there's only one Andrew Mackey. There's only one Andrew Mackey. One Andrew Mackey. There's only one Andrew Mackey.
No, there's 2.
There's the Andrew Mackey of football and the Andrew Mackey of podcasts. Do you want to elaborate further on any of it, Cookie?
Well, I was going to keep it short so we can rush through it, but fuck Hawthorn. Thanks for the first round pick, as our banner said. And yeah.
I love that banner.
That was sharp. I didn't mind that banner. That's how you go about it. You don't target the opposition's best player like Carlton did in round 1. You go with something witty and funny like that.
No, I think that St Kilda's banner was very classless and showed a distinct lack of respect. You can't just go around putting down the opposition like that. I mean, there's a line, and they crossed it. Like the Bulldogs negative gearing thing, funny as heck. But actively mocking and making fun of your opposition, that's just rude. I would have expected that from Essendon, but not from a club like St Kilda, which prides itself on trying to be liked by people.
Didn't Hawthorn have any milestone players for them to put on their banner that week?
Well, it was
300 game players this week for Hawthorn.
Well, it was Ty Vickery's third straight game out of the team, which I think is worth celebrating if you're a Hawthorn fan.
That is a good point, though. That is a very un-St Kilda banner to actually mock the opposition.
By the Tasmanian cheer squad too.
I like this new St Kilda.
I fucking don't.
You don't like the new Hawthorn either.
First they milned us at the trade table last year, and now they got to just rub our faces in it. It's like they've just turned into a club of 44 Stephen Milnes.
Yeah, they sure bent you over and loved you tenderly. Who wants to go next?
Look, I will actually have Goo this week because some things are more important than football. Notably, the final of My Kitchen Rules last night, which of course I'm very happy about because the right team won. Best team all season. Got the job done when it counts. Unlike some fucking football players who wear brown and gold.
They didn't Bradbury it. like Cawthorn.
Someone fucking nearly Bradbury'd it, and they too were brown and gold because fucking Indian food is the worst. Like, this team almost Bradbury'd it the whole competition, cooking nothing but curries the whole time. And I tell you what, I have never seen Indian food that doesn't look like diarrhea, even when it's cooked in a cooking competition by professional chefs. It just always looks awful.
Racist.
So I'm very glad that the better team won with their molecular gastronomy and stuff and kept the Indian food second place where it belongs.
Thanks for that beautiful My Kitchen Rules review, Andrew Bolt.
I have a quick question. Now, as much shit as I give to Survivor, they've been a hugely successful show for like 15 plus years. Why is a cooking show on national television popular?
Because all the old fogies watch it and everyone else is too busy torrenting Game of Thrones.
Food porn's like in at the moment, and the show's cheap to make because they don't really have to pay the people on it much. They just pay the cockheads like Pete Evans.
But it does well ratings-wise. Like, people watch the shit out of it. Like, I don't get the appeal.
They over-dramatize. Ugh.
It's like wrestling, Dan. Like how people, most people wake up to wrestling being fake, but people haven't woken up to this, and Penal's still in that grouping.
Look, it's enjoyable for the drama. It's like it's a soap opera.
If you
I'm aware
to me,
of
drama in the kitchen is placing someone's head on the grill because they had an argument over something. I would watch that. But I mean, the arguments you're talking about are just petty little tip of tap shit.
Drama in the kitchen
crap.
is finding out what new ways Gordon Ramsay can swear at,
yell at you or
belittle
something.
someone.
Yeah.
What new phrases he can use to just absolutely smash them. That's drama in the kitchen.
Yeah, the only drama I want to see in the kitchen is when Frankie Doyle tips hot oil on someone.
Oh, Wentworth, yeah. Now that's a show.
Just, I happen to find MKR enjoyable. It's a good way to unwind at the end of the day and disengage the brain because, you fucking need 2 brain cells active to watch that shit, I know. But I also get to watch Manu's sexy accent for 1 hour, and it's great. It's enjoyable. It's harmless fun.
I will pay that. It's clearly easy watching that you don't need to be paying much attention to watch.
Put it this way, you exert more energy after the show on the toilet bowl trying to shit out the Indian food that you just had.
I just went to the fridge and got my Indian food. Chum. But it does look the same when you put it in your mouth as when you get it out of your body.
Who wants to go next?
Me. I've got Goo for every one of my sporting teams winning this weekend. So,
You sound like a man with no name. He has like 4 or 5 different teams that he supports.
well, I've got lots of teams. My local football team won, Strathmore. Collingwood won. Melbourne Victory won. Chelsea won. And even North won.
Oh,
Everyone won.
She's really man with no name.
The Boston Celtics won. All of my teams won this weekend.
Did your NFL team draft well?
Yes. Oh, and we picked up a good free agent last week. And
Who are you in the NFL?
New Orleans.
No, you didn't draft well. You traded up to get your 3rd running back. That was like one of the dumber things of the draft.
No, I didn't say that. I said we picked up because we got Adrian Peterson last week.
Well, you did. Yes.
Yeah, we got that. But the Celtics won, which was beautiful. Happy days. And I love all of my football players, all of them. All of them, the whole leadership group. Love them.
All of them. All of you.
All of you.
All of you.
Can I just say, on the subject of the NFL draft, I really want to see... Did anyone else watch part of it?
Yeah, part of it.
Yeah.
I didn't
Or
watch a
just
thing.
how it happened. Like, the trades that happened on the first day, when you see what some of those are, I would love it if we had... Like, I've said this before, I'd love it if we had pick trading on draft day, just to see if teams could value players. Like, it's like the bid system, and it's all good. But not just because I think it would be a good tactic, but because I think it would be great troll material.
Well, aren't they going down that path?
Well, I think they're slowly going there. I just think it would be more, not just as a list building and strategy would be good, but the lols. Can you imagine someone Jaeger O'Mearaing on draft day to get Tom Boyd? Like, I see the troll potential there. Because I think that's what's going to happen with the Chicago Bears, trading up one spot when they didn't even need to trade a quarterback who might just bust. But anyway, you know what? I'm going to make that my goo because we're running behind time. So there's my goo. The NFL draft. You're the only one left to go, Dan. Goo or tears?
Am I? Oh, God. I don't know if this is good or tears, but I saw my team play over the weekend and we played terribly, yet we somehow won. I don't know how.
Oh, you
It was probably
defeated Flog.
It is. It does sound a bit defeatist, but we played terribly. It was probably the worst of the 6 games we've played. It's probably the worst performance they've put on this year, and yet they somehow won. So I don't know. That sort of got swept under the carpet, I think, because North finally got their first win, but really it was just a terrible game of footy.
There have been quite a few games like that this year where the worst team has got up. Anyway, defeat us, Flog, Dan.
Probably, yeah, that's fair. I mean, I don't know whether I'm good or tears on this one because I was relieved we won, but I wasn't happy with what I saw.
Well, you did pick some young'uns. You did pick some youth. You dropped Thomas and you dropped Swallow.
Yeah, we did.
So there's something to look forward to there. Like, you won with some young players stepping up. Not too much. Like, you would have been pretty young this week without those guys. Like, yeah, so you would have only had, like, one player over 30, yeah?
Higgins? How old is he?
He'd be
Higgins
close.
is 28, 29.
Oh.
So Goldstein would be your only player over 30. So, you know, this is the new look.
He's not
Get
even over
excited.
30. He's 28, 29 as well.
Goldstein?
He's 28.
Wow.
Yeah,
Feels
I
like
know
he's
it
been
looks
around
like he's
forever.
fucking 50, but
Yeah, he's
he's
receding,
young.
Dave, but he's not that old.
I think
Ben
Scott Thompson's like 30.
Ben Cunnington looks 107.
Let's go to the recaps, and we'll begin with the historic Great Western on Friday night, which was a cracking game. It was as good a game as the commentary around it was bad.
Toby went whack.
I love how the umpire said, "We've been watching you, Toby." It's just
We've
like,
been watching
yeah,
you, Toby.
it's just like it's so Bombers 2003-esque. But you know, he probably thought he'd get away with it, whacking the only bloke on the ground with a helmet. But what did we take out of this game apart from how historic it was?
Nothing. I
that's,
tipped
that's probably
GWS.
all. That's probably all I got out of it, given that
Yeah.
that was all that was being mentioned every
Yeah.
5 seconds.
Why is it considered a rivalry anyway? It's because these two played a close game in a prelim last year.
Nah, because all the players and officials are going back and forth from each club. Like
Oh,
the Giants have a lot of ex-Dogs, and then there's Tom Boyd at the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and that and the age profile of the list, and
Yeah.
people saying that these will be like the top 2 contenders for the next 5 years.
No, I'm not buying it.
Not buying what part?
But
That it's a rivalry.
It's a bogus rivalry. No, I'm not buying it.
Yeah, it's manufactured in plastic.
Was Sydney West Coast a rivalry?
Yes, these
Okay.
two played in grand finals. And
Yeah.
yeah. That's a rivalry.
Well,
Well, it was.
Well, the Dogs and Giants probably would have played in a grand final last year.
They
except
played in
ended up
one close final together. That doesn't constitute a rivalry.
Yeah, but they've had the shit fights with Griffin and Boyd
Yeah,
and all that shit.
And they've had a few close
Nah.
games along the way that it's building to one.
Oh, well, fine. It's a rivalry then. I couldn't.
I'm with Dan on this one because Toby Green fucking hitting
Yeah,
Caleb Daniel. That's not exactly Hall on Staker now, is it?
No, it's not.
If you want a real rivalry, you got to hit him harder. Is that right, Toby?
You got to drop them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need
It's still
like
standing.
the
It's not a rivalry.
you need like the Lloyd on Sewell. You need that level of hit.
Draw a line.
Well,
in
that'll
the
probably
sand.
happen one day.
Like a Reece Conker elbow to the back of the head. Now that's a rivalry.
That's tough. No, so I think the Bulldogs after this loss need to draw a line in the sand next time around.
I've got to say, I'm putting it out there. Steve Johnson, he's cooked.
Whoa, he looked bad, didn't he? He looked really slow.
Yeah, he's finished. The season too long.
I honestly thought he could go around again, but he's off the pace within the first 6 weeks.
He's not even in their best side anymore.
Well, they got rid of Reece Palmer. As funny as this is to say, they got rid of Reece Palmer. So who comes in? Palmer was
They're
like
probably
their
just-
depth forward pocket.
They are praying the lead is fit.
Surely one of their fucking 20 first rounders or academy picks will be up to the mantle. It couldn't be worse than Steve Johnson.
Well, you're looking for someone with genuine goal smarts, especially if Toby Green's out. So, like, Deledio could be the guy if he ever got fit.
Well, yeah, he'll come back in later in the season. You still got Cornelio that will come back in.
But he's a midfielder. Like, you're still talking...
They have
Stevie's got
mapped
some
the
tricks.
ball.
I would rather
The ball
have
will stay
Cornelio
there.
Tendai
and
Mzungu.
Mzungu.
Because that's what GWS needs, some Freo hacks. Like, I'd still take Stevie J over those two.
They could have gone after Chris May.
You know, Nick Maxwell's at the club as a coach. Get him out there.
Chris Main costs too much for GWS in their salary cap situation.
Maybe they get Mark McVeigh out of retirement. Put him forward.
Feed him some vitamins.
Yeah, some vitamins.
Get Brad Miller back out there.
Speaking of being on too much money, who did Tom Boyd have a dirty night?
I know
That's
about
Tom
that.
Boyd. He only plays well in grand finals. I mean, every other game.
It's clearly becoming apparent that he's a one-hit wonder.
He's
He-
the fucking
he's not even-
sham of the AFL.
He's not even Tom Hawkins level.
No, like Hawkins
At
at least
least-
had a good year after that.
He kicked on. Boyd's just gone back to the lulls of last year.
I hope someone piss tested him on grand final day. Because, like, not that you can take drugs for talent, but if you could,
He's pretty much the tainted love of the AFL.
he's the achy breaky heart, mate.
He's the who let the dogs out. I was watching it for mates, and there was a lot of swearing of how shit Tom Boyd are, and they don't know football. And some of it was in Russian, from everyone's favourite mom.
That kick of his, in a situation like that, how you fuck that up? That's such an important kick late in the game.
Like, if you miss, it happens.
Yes.
Even the best players miss. But to fucking be 40 metres out and not even make the distance and to miss by like 25 metres. Oh my God.
Exactly. Like, sometimes it's about how you miss, not the fact that you did miss, and that was certainly a how you miss. And he had to do better there because he'd done nothing all night, and I think that was a free kick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a free kick he received. Like, so he probably felt he didn't even deserve the possession. But you got to go back and slot those and make the most of it when you've done nothing all day. Because a lot of good players can do that. Even when they've had a stinker, they can
Lift in the last quarter. But yeah, that's what separates the good players from the average, I guess.
But Dogs didn't kick straight. He wasn't the only one who was shit in front of goal, but he certainly had the worst kick at the worst time.
Boyd didn't have the worst miss of the weekend, surprisingly.
Well, yeah, did we have anything else on Giants Dogs?
No, ha ha ha.
Yeah, Dogs didn't kick straight.
No.
Bad kicking's bad football. Story of the year. Next game, we'll go to Hawthorn St Kilda since Cookie's almost segued us there. Worst miss of the week, Cookie?
Oh yeah, by far.
That was horrendous.
Cost us some percentage.
It would have been worse if it cost you... Like, it was clearly not going to cost you the win, but if it cost you the 100-point margin, you'd have a right to be filthy.
Well, it shows just where we're at that I was fucking barracking for St Kilda to score more goals in the last quarter just because I wanted them to win by 86 again for the lulz. So I was like, come on, St Kilda, score another 2 goals. No, Hawthorn, don't kick it forward. That's what I've been reduced to.
So, what was the excuse that Josh Bruce ran with? For why
He didn't want to torp the ball into the umpire's head.
He's not a real full forward then, because he needs to look no further than the greatest full forward of all time. Plugger Lockett would not have given a fuck who was there. He would have drilled it straight ahead. Whether he took the guy's head clean off, he wouldn't have cared. He would have put the goal umpire in hospital if he got in the way of his ball. And Bruce needs to harden up and be prepared to hurt someone. Yeah.
I mean, even if you are a big softie, which obviously Josh Bruce is, because that's more in consonant with the St Kilda attitude, and obviously the banner was just a clear, regrettable blip. You just kick it along the ground.
Pretty.
Just kick it along the ground. You don't have to hurt anyone, and you get your goal.
And also, it's an umpire. This is St Kilda we're talking about.
No, he was looking after his eternal friends.
The other plugger's enraged.
It's a goal umpire, though. They don't really count.
Well, what about the goal umpire who gave the Hawkins poster a goal? What if it was him, mate?
Oh, then fucking decapitate him. Oh, Game of Thrones shit.
All kinds of umpires have screwed St Kilda at some point along the journey. Fantastic. Anything else out of that game?
Hawks look slow. I mean, St Kilda, we're not the fastest side, despite what people will say, but they looked really slow. I mean,
We looked really shit and disinterested.
How are you finding Jaeger O'Meara's season so far, Penal? Are you still defending him?
I think he'll be a really good player for us over the course of 8 to 10 years worth of contracts. I think we made a mistake in terms of what we gave up to get him last year. I've been pretty consistent on that the whole way through. So
Don't worry, you're not the only club that did that with a Gold Coast player.
what makes this season so unbearable is the draft pick thing, which is why we need to have it be protected so we can get it back. Because, look, logic dictates not every side can stay up forever. Unless you're Sydney and you get Kohler and they were up
It
for
sends you
20
to the
years.
bottom
And
of the ladder.
well, only now that the Kohler's been removed are Sydney being allowed to fall. But every team has to fall. It was inevitable. But what happens when you have this sort of a year is you look forward to getting kids into your team, getting a top 5 pick, which we will undoubtedly finish in the bottom 5 this year. I think that's pretty indisputable. Look forward to that. Your first round picks top 5, your second round picks around 20, 21, 22 after academy nonsense, and you look forward to that. But no, instead we get fucking GWS's second round pick as our first, which will be 40 to 45 or something like that. It just makes the season really bad, and it's entirely self-inflicted. That's why I'm pissed off at the club, and that's why I've been consistent in terms of wanting the board out.
Maybe you can salvage your draft position though. If you manage to trade Ruffy, Rioli, Liam Shields, you might get a pick in the 20s.
If we were going down that route, we should have traded Rioli last year when he would have commanded 2 first-rounders. I don't think any of these players are going to have trade currency this year. Certainly not like they would have had last year.
Maybe GWS will take Cyril to fill this role that Stevie J can't.
Apparently Gold Coast wanted Liam Shields for Jaeger.
Yeah, I heard Liam Shields plus a third rounder was the mooted deal. And we turned that down.
Yeah, that whole 50k Eddie Betts joke's not looking all that funny now, is it?
That's still pretty funny.
They're all very funny, all of them.
And then we approached Hawthorn with our pick 10.
Oh, that's absolutely delicious.
Look, that fucking banner is so
Piss funny.
so mean because
Oh, it's mean.
Leave
It's-
Hawthorn alone.
yeah, I'm doing a Trent Cotchin and leaping to the defence, because even if we won the flag this year, we still would have lost on fucking points. You know, that trade should
that's the
never
trade
have
you
been allowed. It should never have happened by the fucking board dropped the ball, and the AFL dropped the ball as well by allowing it to
dropped
go
the ball.
through.
This is the AFL's fault, is it?
That's why they need to step in and retroactively protect
fuck
the
off.
pick.
The AFL
Just-
dropped the ball. Stop blaming everyone else for your own stupid decision.
Well, that's what the point system is there to do, so that the AFL can block trades that contravene it.
Yeah, it's so that bloody clubs can't fuck about with academy selections. Not what you did. You went in eyes open. You were the ones who were going to get screwed, and you agreed.
Yeah, that's because someone hijacked the computer.
This never would have happened under Jeff Kennett and Chris Pelkin.
Honestly, you know who we need at Hawthorn on the board for strong leadership? Tony Abbott. This would have never happened under Tones. The last time we brought a disgraced Liberal hack, it worked out well, so won us a couple flags, so
Imagine
do it.
Tone's going for a swim in brown and gold budgie smugglers. Ooh.
well, he'd never have to change them, would he?
I'd rather not.
Nothing else on that game.
No, suck shit.
Lol horse.
Yeah, sucks shit. Yeah, low horse.
Actually, before we do move on from that, can we just make note of Trent Cotchin coming out to defend Ty Vickery? Leave Tyrone alone. This from a guy whose own wife has to defend him when he gets slammed. How does that make Vickery look that he's defended by a guy who doesn't even defend himself? Like, nobody looks good out of that whole situation. Cotchin looks like a bit of an idiot, but Vickery looks worse still. When you've got someone at another club coming in to white knight you, even if it's at your old club, Hawthorn can't even stand up for Vickery properly. Maybe they don't want to.
I mean, the fact that he can't get a game in like the worst side in the comp, pretty much, and the fact that we've kind of hung him out to dry in terms of the social media. I think we've just cut our losses on this one after 3 rounds and said, yeah, this is not going to work out. Ty, nice try, but yeah, it's not going to work out.
Reminds me of when the Dogs took Jade Rawlings. Let's move on to Collingwood and Geelong.
Joel Salwood's a fucking
Yep.
whinging little bitch.
What a scumbag. It's a very Geelong thing, though, to crack the shits after the siren when it's time to shake hands. Remember the Stevie J. Ryan Crowley thing when they lost the final at Kinnear Park?
Yeah, but shouldn't he? If he's going to be angry at anyone, don't shake Levi Greenwood's hand. What did Pendlebury do wrong to him? What a fucking sook.
Yeah, as if,
Like,
as if Pendlebury tackled him.
As if Pendlebury wouldn't have defended him. What's he sooking at him for? Jesus Christ. Like, it's unfortunate for Selwood that every time he comes up against Levi Greenwood, he gets made to look like an absolute hack. But, like, don't take that out on Pendlebury, who just wanted to celebrate having a one good game this year.
Yeah, Pendlebury's got his own problems having to deal with Morgan Ashley's rants every week.
He needs
Right,
someone
well-
to defend him.
He'll escape
Yeah.
my wrath next
Trent
week.
Cotchin should defend Pendleton next.
Brayden may not even escape to a RAF.
Oh, Braden
Hey,
Maynard.
hey.
He made
Don't-
Stephen
Don't go
Motlop his bitch.
Don't go too far.
Cookie, don't you be bringing real life onto the Flogcast. I'm going to take a restraining order out on you two. You are following me around.
In fairness, we got random seats. I didn't actually expect that.
Random seats, 4 rows behind me.
Did you not?
Random seats. Where were you on Saturday night? Just randomly right near me.
One outside the ground.
You were not. You were like 5 rows down.
Are you following people on Bigfooty now?
Yeah, Cookie and not Cookie follow me around.
Were you guys at all at the North?
Yeah.
Were you guys
they
all
went-
at the North game together?
Yes.
I regret going to that.
Did you spend your time calling out and trying to find Dan?
I only said Dan twice, but
See,
not
but if you
all
had
night.
Cookie, not Cookie with you, you would have had a few extra voices to find out Dan. You could have gone to all points of the compass on Saturday night.
You wouldn't
literally
need
could
to.
have asked everyone in their seats, are you Dan?
Yeah, because there were only about 4,000 there.
Oh, come on, that's...
Sometimes I reckon you, because you know what I look like, Dan. I reckon you see me and then just run the other way.
Well, that's what you need to look for.
Yeah, you
Someone running
need
away.
to look for someone who's running away, who's sort of being a bit of a peeking Tom,
No,
following
it's
you
looking
around.
for you,
That's
not Cookie.
A peeking Tom or a peeping Tom?
peeping Tom. Sorry, did I say peek? Oh, yes, I said
Yeah.
peeking. Peeping.
His grandfather.
Grandfather offers the
But
norm.
no, like, back to Collingwood versus Geelong.
Lyndon Dunn played well on Hawkins, I think.
I hear,
No,
Hawkins
Lyndon
sort of
Dunn
let him by being
is-
absolutely sputty
yeah.
and undisciplined.
Lyndon Dunn is a spud.
Lyndon Dunn played really well.
Didn't Hawkins, like, give away a whole bunch of free kicks and do a bunch of lazy things? And
No. He should have given away free kicks. They weren't paid.
oh,
He pushed him in the back all game. Wasn't paid. He dropped the ball because he's fat and stupid. But no, Lyndon Dunn played really well on him.
I imagine all of you saw, Cookie certainly mentioned the cat, the
Oh,
quarter-time
fucking-
cat, or whatever it was, pre-game
it was
cat.
pre-game dancing to fucking, what is it?
Can't touch this.
Oh, yeah, it was just pure cringe. God damn, I know it's still
What was the point?
1980s. It's some dance-off thing. They didn't even award prizes for it.
Oh, there were no prizes.
But-
Oh, you
Yeah.
can't have that. You can't have a dance-off and not have prizes.
Yeah, but you like having a raffle and making sure one of your own players won it.
Then the Cats media people at three-quarter time.
Oh,
are
he
talking about
could have
the
just
umps.
He could have just won it randomly. I mean,
Oh,
it is
come on.
it is
He was
possible.
standing next to the barrel.
It is possible. Come on, coincidence.
Fucking everything about Geelong is just pure cringe.
Port Adelaide-esque.
Not that bad, but getting there.
The Port Adelaide of Victoria.
They are southeast Horsham.
They were bad. They weren't any good at football. I don't know why no one can beat them. Like, it's piss easy. I wish we played them next week and every other week.
Teams have kicked themselves out. Melbourne kicked themselves out of it. North choked.
And we're Hawthorn.
Hawthorn is shit.
But
St Kilda were in
Dangerfield
front
was
at
pretty
three-quarter
quiet
time.
though.
Can
well,
Victoria just like sell Geelong to South Australia for $1 or something?
no, South Australia shouldn't get anything. That's stupid.
Well, they'd get Geelong. That's like a net loss.
It's a win for both states, really.
It'd be the nicest town in South Australia, and Victoria loses their ass pimple.
Pretty much.
Mason Cox had probably the worst play on of the week.
Oh my god, I pissed myself laughing when I saw that. Hang on, you're talking about the blatant throw-in from the point
Yeah.
line?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I pissed myself laughing. It was so blatantly obvious. If I was the umpire in that area, I would have just called played on. Just out of sheer nerve
Lol.
that he would try that. No, I'm going to allow it. Play on, play on. It's like he went
Just
back
to
into
make it
basketball and it's
fun.
like blatantly throw it back into the...
So, Cookie, you did mention Geelong's media guy.
Yeah, he was like talking about it three-quarter time. I'm not sure if Morgs heard this, but he's like talking about Selwyn and said, oh, it would be good if he can get help from the umpire. Not that we can say that.
What an absolute fucking loser, Sook. I mean,
When did that happen?
At three-quarter time.
Three-quarter time.
Oh, well, yeah, I didn't hear that.
yeah, it's like West Coast supporters whenever they leave Perth. You know, they're so used to getting an armchair ride every week that all of a sudden Selwood doesn't get 10 head-high free kicks, and then he's getting a raw deal, apparently.
But like he
You
wasn't.
sound like you've
he
been
wasn't.
posting on the Freo board.
He wasn't at all being taken out of the contest. Like it wasn't anything like what Brent McCaffrey did to Trent Cotchin that night when everyone lost their shit. Like it was nothing like that. It was just fair.
Yeah, but he was ducking his head and getting nothing for it. What a poor bloke.
Yeah, isn't that why? Because they changed the rules, so that didn't happen.
Yeah, I know. Geelong are a bit slow on the uptake. That's why I
Oh.
wanted to ship him off to West Horsham.
Well, the rule wasn't fucking changed last week, so obviously that was like the rule of the week or something because he was still ducking against St Kilda and getting him paid. So I can see.
But
why
I think
they'd
that
be
was just a
confused.
plugger troll.
Well, I went and had myself, like, I was on night shift last night. I was a bit, I'd kind of hit a wall, so I went and read the game day thread on the Geelong port, and fuck, did that perk me up. At the start of the game, they're like, we'll win by 90 points, blah, 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 blah.
They didn't even score 90 points.
Like, I love these games. I love these games where teams are so sure they're going to win, and then they just get flogged. And then they're all like, oh, we shouldn't have played Dangerfield. He's injured. Oh, we're a two-man side. Like everyone's been saying that fucking ever. Now you wake up. They were just, the board, it was delicious. It was delicious. I'm going to read it again tonight.
Did someone give like cockatoo crazy pills or like a shitload of cocaine? He's
it's
been meant to in the last few weeks.
Matty Stokes.
Yeah, maybe Stokes. Uncle Stokes. He still hangs around in Joel.
You know what happened, Cookie? He turned up to the G early, and he went to take a piss. He turned in the wrong toilets. He found himself in the women's, and he found that toilet speed from Anzac Day. And
Funny.
decided, hey,
Hey.
I can take this. I get 3 strikes.
Unlike Morgs, I get 3 strikes. Oh,
And if I turn it out to be as good as Buddy or Dane Beams, I'll write it off as an injury.
is that what happened to Brendan Parfitt when he got shot in the hamstring? Cookie,
Oh, that sounds like your injury trial.
Cookie, how
Yeah,
bad was
that's
that? No, he was like running towards us where we were sitting, and it was terrible. Like
It didn't go ping, it went explode.
it went bang. Like he was
What, you
running.
heard it?
You could hear his hamstring go.
No, just like the way he reacted and face planted. Oh, it was not good. And like I understand that we don't stop play for things like for injuries, but like, this kid was flat out on the ground. He wasn't getting up. He couldn't move. He had to be carried off. And play went on around him. We kicked a goal, and this kid, we kicked a goal. He still didn't get off the ground until friggin' the
What are
ball
you
was back.
complaining about then?
No, I felt bad for him.
Your team kicked the goal. Well, why
No,
should
it's
players
been-
stop?
No,
It's been a good sport.
I agree with Dan. Unless the ball goes near him, play shouldn't stop. And
The ball was obviously near him.
So if someone
Uh,
fakes an injury and starts
well-
lying on the ground to halt a team's momentum, he can just go, "Oh, you have to stop! You have to stop! I'm injured! Oh, help me! Help
like,
me!"
you can stop if someone
You're turning
takes a
into
mark,
soccer.
or you can.
Swans did that last year.
He was being
Yeah.
carried off. Like he was literally being carried off.
Grimace will make a AFL game go for 5 hours if he had it.
Yeah,
They
I
still won't get him
like,
into a game.
I like why the rule is kind of there to allow play to be stopped in case of concussion or stretcher, obviously, because you really do need to take.
I would allow the player to.
Stuff, so
I would allow the player to keep going even if the stretcher guy is on the ground.
Well,
I want to see somebody dodge the stretcher running down the wing.
You'll see players take the stretcher guy driver out of his vehicle, and the player will use the vehicle
Marshall
to run
Lynch
down the player
style.
with the ball.
Yeah, well, bloody Tom Hawkins would do that rather than having to do a running bounce.
unless he's playing St Kilda, then he can do it anyway.
That means,
embarrassing.
that means Buddy can drive. Do you want Buddy to drive anything?
No.
There'll be need for more stretches. You'll crash into people. Start.
How many of those Gatorade carts are there out there? Playing dodgeball.
There's 4 to crash into. Let's move on since we're talking about stretches. We'll go to
Oh yeah, one other thing. Daniel Wells is probably leading the Copeland after 2 games.
Scott Pendlebury, I think.
How great is Wellesley? Isn't he great?
I love Daniel Wells. I think it's fantastic that he's playing well.
It is. It's great. I'm so happy for him.
Let's go to Carlton Sydney, and I actually do sort of agree with you, Dan, on the stretcher front. I don't think they... Like, if someone takes a mark, fair enough. But in general play, I don't think they should be stopping the game until the ball gets over near where the player is, which the commentators wouldn't shut up about when Carlton kicked a goal as Gary Rowan lay on the ground. Like, sure, the ball was 70 metres away from him. If it got anywhere near him, that's when you blow the
there's
whistle.
a risk, and particularly when concussion's involved. I know in soccer they do automatically stop it regardless of whether it's out or not for the concussion or head knocks. So
you're not going to have a Scott Sterling scenario in our game where the ball just constantly comes back and hits the guy in the head while he's lying on the ground. Have you guys seen a video? No. You know what I'm talking about? No. Just Google goalkeeper Scott Sterling.
But anyway, that's my opinion on it. The Rowan thing was sickening though. But he probably wouldn't have got hurt if he fully committed to the contest, because he sort of half went at it, and that was why he ended up in the air. If he'd run through Sam Rowe, he probably would have run through Sam Rowe and just fallen on his side, not his head.
He should have just body checked him and got him for a 50-metre penalty.
Yeah, exactly. It was because he second guessed it that he did get hurt. But it's hard to criticise someone who does go back with a flight, even if they do it.
Yeah. So once he kind of had to make up his mind and had to go, then he went. So courageous enough, and
it wasn't out of softness that he didn't go 100% hard. It was about the fact he didn't want to give away 50 by smacking and hurting Rowe. He didn't want to actually demolish the guy there. And the unfortunate thing is he came off second best because of it.
As a nice guy, he'll be traded to St Kilda at the end of the year. But yeah, it's not like the Tom Boyd one a couple of weeks ago where his own shitness, where he dropped the mark, caused him to be concussed.
Carlton looked good.
And they did it with a man down for longer than Sydney were Silvani going down early, but it was actually the shit Silvani, that the Freo reject Silvani keeping Buddy goalless. Like, it's just, the Kohlers are really fucking bad.
No, Buddy got one goal, which he had to get from the boundary line.
Yeah,
but
he had to
apart from that, if you told me he was playing, I would have said, yeah, good one. Parker was shit as well.
Parker.
Hanbury needs to go back on the piss ASAP.
Yes. Apparently, I actually heard this recently. Apparently, he's given up the meat as well. So what else did you expect, Grimace? You were the fucking most fragile footballer ever, and now you've gone full Peter Siddle.
No, if you go vegan, you'll just be grumpy and shitty with yourself all the time. Don't do it.
What's he fucking surviving on? Tofu and kale
and
cocaine.
They are the worst cunts in the world, vegans. Absolute worst. Just the most opinionated, over preaching on anti-meat bullshit propaganda. I hate vegans.
They're waste of semen. I agree with Dan. Dan is right.
I'm vegan, therefore my smart farts don't smell. That's literally their attitude.
Anyway, the Kohlers, they're very shit.
Winless. Owen.
They are 0-6. They are outright bottom. They're even worse than Hawthorn.
Imagine not winning a game.
Touche.
Let's move on to North Easter Suns. Dan said they were shit, but you got to win, Dan. Don't be a defeatist flog.
Yeah, I know. I should be grateful. We finally got the monkey off the back. When we're no longer in Sydney's category of shitness or Hawthorns.
Hey, we've won the same amount of games as you.
Yeah, but we're higher on the ladder and we've played much better than Hawthorn. Hawthorn's shit. I've been telling you that for weeks. I even went as far as saying North will win more games.
North didn't get to play West Coast at the MCG.
That's right.
Yeah, but they still lost to it in Melbourne.
Yeah, but West Coast have a good record at Etihad. It's the interstate team.
No, they're not Adelaide.
You said that, not me.
They're not Adelaide.
But I'm pretty sure all the interstate teams do all right at Etihad. Like, I don't even need any facts to back that up. We just say it. But
if you want facts, go on the main.
Like, it sounds like 3 of you were at that game. So is there anything to take from this game?
I watched the Derby as soon as it started.
But you went to the game and watched another one?
Well, until Gary Ablett started playing. Well, then I watched
You just
Ablett.
went to stalk Morgs, didn't you?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No, I regret going to that game.
Cooks in 2003.
Yeah,
Hey, that is slander.
You're actually stalking this person, whereas Bombers is just a harmless, horny old man.
Hey, I didn't even know I had tickets to this game until Not Cookie said, we have tickets to this game. I was like,
sure you didn't. Wink, wink.
Blame Not Cookie. You've Andrew Mackey this. You've passed all the blame off. I should be grateful that you attended, because you added to the 15,000 that did attend this game. If I was to hazard a guess, I would say 14,000 were North Melbourne supporters, 1,000 were neutrals, and there were 20 Gold Coast
supporters, and they all sat in their little cheer squad at the lock-it end of the stadium. Oh, yeah, and we let the opposition's best player do whatever he wanted. I told you last week he was going to 40-4. I wasn't that far off.
No, you weren't.
Yeah, you were
really
only
right.
You were only 3 goals off.
Oh, I was closer than anything that you didn't say anything. So you and your one little win.
I accurately predicted that you guys would boo him.
One little win.
Oh, yeah, that caught me off guard too. What the hell was that all about?
I think
Why
it's
are
because
North supporters booing Gary Ablett?
I think he got a free kick in the first quarter for some reason.
So we're going to boo him for the whole game.
I thought it was disgusting. It was really, that's the sort of treatment you reserve for cunts like Joel Selwood or Luke Hodge or
Watson.
Adam Goods.
I read on the North board that some people are saying it's just something as simple as just booing the opposition's team's best player, but that, to me, that was something more of a 90s thing that people did. Like, I don't think that really happens now these days.
If that
You know what I
happened,
think
would
it
happen
is?
every week.
I think it's just pure racism by North.
No, I think it's religious persecution.
Yeah, but then, they dropped Swallow as well for this game, didn't they?
They're a godless team now.
There can only be one religious Bible-bashing moron on the ground, and it has to be Andrew Swallow. It can't be him and Gary Ablett. So we'll throw our crucifixes at him and
We'll burn our crosses.
And ask to have him crucified.
Burning crosses what the KKK do, Dan. So thanks for confirming the racist North doing.
That's got more of a gender.
Who said it was racist? I don't.
Well, it's definitely religious. Like, we've established that.
Okay, thanks, Darth Vader. What are you speaking to?
Sorry, I've got a lime in my mouth from the dessert I made tonight after getting the recipe off MKR.
Did you make a curry for dinner?
I did not make a curry because I'm not stupid and I know how to cook and I don't need to resort to cooking simple food that anyone can make.
Oh, racist.
No, you just get some spices and some meat, you throw it all in a pot, you don't even have to do anything.
Let's go to the Derby. And, well, this was West Coast back to their flat track best. Although apparently the umpires helped them out greatly because Dean Margetts was best man at Dean Cox's funeral.
What?
Gee, I didn't realise Vickery hit him that hard.
Dean Cox
I didn't realise you had best man at funerals.
Dean Cox's wedding. According to the Freo board.
What does the best man do at a funeral?
Wheels you out.
Does he organise the Bucks night as well with the coffin in the middle? And
He does your weekend at Bernie's before you end up in the coffin.
Well, speaking of funerals, this is a funeral for Frio's finals hopes. They got so excited as well. Poor little host.
Did any of us think they were going to play finals?
No, they did,
before
though.
the season started?
We didn't, they did. Especially
did.
fucking Jose.
Well,
Ross-
Ross Lyon is an idiot, and he knows his team wasn't going to play
But
finals.
I love all the excuses, though, that, like, as I said, I've been reading a bit of the Freo board because someone on TLC found, because they're all West Coast supporters, found their umpire melt thread, which was, actually someone decided to compare it. It's worth a read. Compare the underworld element, or West Coast underworld links to why the umpiring always goes their way and never Freo's over in Perth. And yeah, they were pretty melty over the umpiring, but it was a return to what we know, wasn't it? Freo got a couple of unexpected wins, back to being shit. West Coast smacks a team in Perth.
I think that covers this game.
Yeah, it was a terrible game because the umpires decided who they wanted to win in the first quarter and just...
I was at the other terrible game with the 15 strong 1,000 supporter base.
And there was drums. Can we talk about the drums? Okay, talk about the drums at the North game.
They had a giant drum.
The world's largest drum.
How big are we talking here?
It was bigger than David Dench.
What they just bang it once, or they bang it multiple times, drum roll?
David Dench banged it twice.
And some other random... You know how the Tigers have all the random drummers?
Yeah, when they walk out there, yeah.
Yeah, when I was walking to the ground from the station, there was some random North Melbourne drummers going on, and I'm thinking, that's fucking weird.
You sure
Then you
they
get
just
the-
went people busking?
No, they were North Melbourne drummers.
But my issue with the drummers was the ones that were right in front of us on the ground. And so every second person was a drummer, and in between them was a flag waver. And they obviously didn't have enough flag. They didn't have enough flag wavers.
You do not wave flags near Morgan Ashley at games.
It's not me, it's NL. Anyway, they didn't have enough flag wavers, obviously, so there was like Eddie had staff waving flags in their uniforms.
Oh, fucking lol.
Like there was like a lady like in her corporate Eddie had uniform, and she was standing there for like half an hour waving her flag. I was like, she is hating life. But she was obviously working somewhere like corporate-ish, and they're like, sorry, you've got to go wave the flag.
Were they gigantic flags?
Yeah, the big flags.
Those huge flags?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck off. Those things would be heavy as hell too.
Yeah, and she was doing it for ages. And like the drum songs, whatever they were playing, was so fucking annoying.
Bring back the shower curtain.
Oh, please. At least it was quiet. They play it along to the start of the song, like, because now the North song has the hearts to hearts thing. When they run out, they play that part, and they drum along to it.
I think they were in sync as well.
No, they weren't. But, like, I like that they play the first part of the song as well. But the drummers and the flag wavers are overkill. They need to go away. Yeah, and they were right in front of us, and NL was raging. Like, he was...
You should have texted the antisocial behaviour number.
He was sitting there going, of all the places they have to stand, why are they right fucking in front of me? I was like, calm down. They'll be gone soon. Oh, he had flag rage.
Derby was the first of the games that didn't matter. Going to Essendon Melbourne, Melbourne's third quarter probably saved this from being the worst game of the year. Although I can't think of one that was worse, but certainly the worst half of football for the year was these two going at it. And nothing sums it up more than Joe Danaher's 1 goal, 6 and 1 out on the full.
Can anyone in this fucking league kick straight who's not called Tom Lynch or Will Hoskin-Elliott? Or Josh Kennedy?
But this was just horrendous, some of the misses from everyone at Essendon in particular. They butchered opportunities. It was the game of two teams that were coming off 5 and 6 day breaks. It was just an absolute stinker.
I didn't even watch the highlights for this. I got 2 minutes in and said, nah, stuff this.
But pedo molested Essendon, that's about all we can say.
Is this Melbourne's second win in the year at Etihad?
Yes, it's like more than they've had for a decade.
It's all of a sudden they're starting to dominate at that venue now.
Yeah, the new Adelaide.
They've won more games than Adelaide, yeah. Wow.
Shit, I walked straight into that.
Don't ever praise anyone for winning at Etihad. Anything else out of this?
Jake Malcolm could be the worst trade of the year. Well,
yeah, but no, not yet.
No,
Jago O'Meara.
No, Jago O'Meara, Tyrone, anyone that goes to Hawthorn, I think.
Well, Tom Mitchell's done alright.
Tyrone Vickers was a free agent, not a trade, and still he's up there for the worst.
Yeah, I don't know why Essendon supporters are booing him like that, because they were booing him whenever they got the ball, and just like, fuck, you should be happy. Too. You should be, but you should be really happy for him. You got fucking pick 26 out of him. That's a steal. That would be like St Kilda supporters booing Reece Stanley.
It still makes more sense than the North supporters booing Gary Ablett, though.
Anything else on Essendon Melbourne?
Game didn't matter, but Essendon really wanted us to lose, so it was like, oh, the 5-day break really hurts. It only hurts if you tried in the game before, and we didn't. So.
Crows smashed Richmond, and this is the part where I get to say, as all of us can attest because we're always right on here, sometimes it's not very fun to be right all the time, and certainly that is the case with Damien fucking Hardwick.
Okay, there's a little chink in his armour, but I mean, there's a little
chink in his armour. I'm sorry. Would you have picked Stephen Morris?
No, yeah, I think so. This is just the loss that you needed to have.
Yeah, the loss you needed to have.
Good coaching.
And you'll bounce back next week.
Any other coach would have lost this game by 20 goals. Adelaide are unstoppable.
No, yep. Adelaide are unstoppable, but this was still just about their biggest win for the year.
You're never going to beat them on their turf.
I know we're never going to beat them, but he didn't even give up.
That was very smart coaching. Yeah. Save your energy for a game that you're a chance in.
He didn't even give us a chance.
In fact, I think he gets more credit for this loss than he does.
Shut up. He picked one forward over 190 centimetres against the Adelaide Crows, and the game plan was to bomb it long.
Given that Daniel Talia shouldn't have played because he was like so fucking injured the week before, it's probably why you thought you should go small. How are you not supposed to know that he was fucking fig strings and was going to play?
Strings. No, you got to pick talls, even if they're Tom Boyd. You got to pick him for structure. You got to have someone there.
Oleg Markov kicked 2.
Oleg did kick 2, which was probably the highlight of our game.
Listen, Burnsy, life's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and then get back up on your feet and fight back the next week. So Damien Hardwick should not be judged on his 5 in a row or this one loss, but it's about what happens next week.
He should be judged,
this
he
is
should
all
be
just a
judged on the
big...
7 years previously.
This is all just a big game of robo-dope.
Now, let's go to, on that game, just real quickly, the Feel Good Lounge is going to be very overcrowded this year. For all the talk of everybody else, Rory Sloane is a fair crack at the Brownlow. The MVP, everything this year.
He's a more complete player than that other guy that used to play for Adelaide.
Rory doesn't do the brilliant break 50 tackles. He doesn't do the super fluky goals. He just runs all day, supports his teammates, and just gets the ball and uses it well.
Wants it more than basically anyone else on the ground.
And he's just a nice bloke as well.
And you just explained why he's not going to win the Brownlow this year.
No, he will because he's blonde as well.
You got it. No. You have to be a sexy midfielder who kicks goals to win a Brownlow. You can't be a hard-working midfielder.
How many goals did Priddis kick?
He was the exception. That was just a dumb fluke. Even the guy down the road was like, "Who the hell is Matt?"
Yeah, Priddis is nearly 1-2, Dan. It's clearly not a fluke. It's substance. The umpires see something.
Okay, but if you look at most of the Brownlow medalists in like the last 10 years, most of them are high possession, goal kicking midfielders.
I don't think Billy Bartel kicked many for his Brownlow either. Just quietly.
He did. I think he did.
And what about Adam Cooney? Chris
Mitchell.
Judd was not sexy at Carlton. He was
Sam Mitchell was not a goal kicker.
Dan, you're such a liar. This is like the Adelaide and Etihad thing.
No, this is much more than the Adelaide and Etihad.
What do you got against Rory that you don't want him to win the Brownlow?
No, I've got nothing against Rory.
Well,
He's
sounds
Jane
like
that plays
You're
like
trying to make up
Tarzan.
reasons why you can't win
It
it.
just sounds like you don't want to be in the Rory Sloane Feel Good Lounge.
It's not about kicking goals or breaking tackles. It's about catching the eye, and Rory Sloane is certainly a player that catches the eye. So he'll poll well. He always has polled well.
How many did he get last year?
He got 24 and he was equal third with Martin. Oh no, he was behind Martin, actually.
Like, Dan should get a lot more credit than he has. He's been peddling alternative facts since before it was cool.
He's an alternative fact hipster.
I'm waiting for fucking Dan to replace Sean Spicer.
So I can have Melissa McCarthy do impersonations of me on SNL. No, high possession midfielders who kick goals generally get more love from the umpires than hard-working-esque midfielders like Sloane. It's not a slight on him as a player. I rate him.
He's got more strings to his bow than, say, just a Priddis or a...
Sloane has 8 goals already.
Come on, just to boost Rory's numbers, you don't have to be disrespectful. Just a Priddis.
You can't use Priddis because he was just a one-off freak who just somehow stole a Brownlow. I don't know how.
Anyway, Port versus the Bryans. Anything out of this, the last game of the round, it did not matter.
No, it did not matter. I didn't watch it. I don't care.
Contested marking beast Charlie Dixon dined out on a shit club.
Speaking of Brownlows, I think Robbie Gray, he could...
He'd be fairly high up there, but...
Well, a midfielder that plays forward and kicks goals.
Well, he's more of a forward. He plays in the midfield, actually.
Mm-hmm.
If his body had held up over the journey, he'd be like as good as every bit as good as, say, Chris Judd. I reckon. He's just freakishly talented.
No, I'd rather
love
listen
him.
to you go on about Liam Shields being the next Brownlow medalist.
And Jaeger O'Meara.
Oh, and Ryan Burton, he's a superstar.
Oh, he's better than Jed Anderson.
Rising star.
Let's move on to the talking points, and we'll begin with Port. We'll stay on Port and the China game, and there's a couple of big things out of the China game. Firstly, no pies at the China game, no meat pies. What do we think they're going to serve?
So if I go to this game, what am I going to have?
Strawberry Big M, maybe?
No, really, what am I going to have? If I go out of my way to attend...
Puffer fish.
I'm not eating puffer fish.
Well, there'd be no pies, but would they still serve dog in a bowl?
Oh.
Maybe they should have had this game in India so I could have a nice curry.
That'll get penal over there for sure.
Every player has a curry pre-game. Last one to not have diarrhea.
That'd be a great game for toilet speed because everyone would be racing off to the toilets every 5 minutes.
But this has got to be really concerning for the Port supporters because if there's no pies, there can be no pie floaters. How are you meant to show off your South Australian local delicacy if there's one of the ingredients is missing?
I think I just heard EIMM 2,000 kilometres away take off his headphones and just throw them across the room in disgust.
I just googled a pie floater.
Never heard of a pie floater?
No, I would rather
Never
a
had one?
fucking curry.
Well, don't worry, I'd never heard of one till I joined Bigfooty either.
Yum.
Same as the frog cakes. I'd never heard of them either.
Hang on. Yeah, I've never heard of a pie floater either. Hang on, let me
Oh,
do
they're
it.
delicious.
Have you had
It
one?
looks like puke.
It looks disgusting.
What the hell is that? It
Peas.
looks like grass soup
It's
with a
peas.
pie in it.
Would you rather eat curry than that penal?
I'd have to take the
Mountain Dew or crab?
yeah, I'd
juice?
have to take the curry. I'd have to take the
That
curry just because at
that
least
looks
I know
like-
curry can have flavour.
That looks like green horse shit in a bowl with a pie in it.
No, it's just mashed up peas.
No, it looks like garbage. I'm not eating it. Fuck off.
Another thing on that game is the Suns have been confirmed to wear their jumper, but there's another twist to the jumper saga. Apparently, there's an unlucky number in China, Morgs.
Oh, yeah. Heard along the grapevine that the players who wear the number 4 won't be able to wear it, so we'll have to relocate to different numbers because 4 in China is very unlucky.
But what numbers do we think they could go with? We're talking Paddy Ryder and Jack Martin.
We're talking Paddy Ryder and Jack Martin, so I was thinking maybe 34 would be a better number for Paddy. I don't know about Jack Martin.
I reckon they could pick a true Port Adelaide number for Paddy Ryder, give him 119.
Well, I'll just check. There's no one that's 119, so they could use that number.
No, surely you do that if you're Gold Coast to troll the fuck out of Port. Give Jack Martin the 119. Sadly, Gold Coast is such an irrelevant club that Port really don't have anything that they can troll them with.
So the reason they hate the number 4 is it's pronounced C, which is the same as death. So 4 means death.
I wouldn't mind seeing a Gold Coast player wear the number 97, you know.
97.
That'd be good. Jack Martin could be 97.
Well, why don't we just tell the billion Chinese, if you want our game, we wear the number 4 in our back, and if you don't like it, you can stick your chopsticks up your ass.
I don't think
but
they
this
want
was-
our game, though. That's sort of the point of
this
this
was
game.
Port's
Is
idea,
Koshi's
which
trying to fit a square peg in a round hole.
We got to
I
play
don't know
by
if you
their
know
rules.
this, but they didn't ask us to come over.
No, Koshi just invaded.
Oh, so
Do you
we
want us to
don't, we don't really have any leverage, do we? Okay.
No.
If
We'll
you
send
don't want the
Dustin
ball,
Martin
we'll take
over.
it.
They don't want us. They don't want our pies. They don't want pie floaters. They don't want the number 4. And they don't want to see Gold Coast in white jumper.
I'm with them on the
I
pie
don't want to
floater.
see Gold Coast in the white jumper.
If I'm stuck on a desert island and someone offered me a pie floater, I still wouldn't have it.
I can just imagine fucking Malcolm Turnbull at the negotiating table with their Chinese president, and he's just trying to get him to take South Australia in its entirety, and the Chinese will just be like, no, don't want it.
They can have Geelong.
No, that's where we ship Geelong off to.
If we're not allowed to have a number 4 on jumpers, like, are we allowed to have 4 quarters, or do we have to play 5?
Yeah.
Can we have 4 posts?
Do we play for 4 points?
Do we have to change how many points we play for? What if a goal is worth 4 points? Will we have to change
Someone kicks 4 goals, do they get
On
executed
the
on
scoreboard, do they
retarded.
asterisk it on the scoreboard if you've got 4?
If you get 4 goals, do you get a super goal added to it? Like, what happens? Do we start with 5 people inside the centre square because you can't start with 4?
5 on the bench?
Yeah.
It's silly. Come on, grow up, China.
Grow up, China.
What happened, China? You used to be cool.
It's still cool. You were number 4.
I think we just found the title, Grow Up, China.
Let's move on to the next talking point. This one was one that cropped up last week, but we sort of overlooked it, and it got some more life on the weekend. James Heard selling chocolates.
Doesn't
Apparently-
look sus at all.
Apparently, yeah, not sus at all. It comes from Colombia. This is where he wants to be, apparently. This is what he wants to do. He couldn't be happier. Really, James. This is what you want to be doing. You want to be selling chocolates. Because I get the feeling that's not where you wanted to be. Because if you were where you wanted to be, you'd be coaching.
How much are they? Can we all sort of put in to get a sample or something?
Well, some of us, Morgs gets drug tested.
I'd expect you of all people to be on board, Augustus.
Yeah, well,
You don't want the cocaine flavoured chocolate?
no, who knows what he put in it?
That's true. Well, it's not like you're tested by Asada to do this podcast, are you? So you'll be fine.
All right,
that's
Dan,
true.
you could buy the chocolate yourself. It's only like $8.
Well, Morgs could have bought the chocolate.
I could have bought the chocolate. It's right near my house. But I couldn't eat it because I get tested.
Where's he selling it?
Essendon, isn't it?
He was selling it at Lamana at Essendon Fields.
Is it any good, or just people just buying it
She
because
didn't try it. She can't.
I didn't
She gets drug
go.
tested.
It was a good headline, though. Reclusive James Heard spruiks his cacao hunters Australia chocolate on gay and lesbian radio.
So is he making the chocolate himself, or is he just what's he doing?
No, I think he's selling it just like those people who sell fucking.
What, like how Kuda sells Herbalife?
Kuda sells Herbalife, even though it's a pyramid scheme.
Heard admitted to being a chocoholic and joked when he first went to Colombia he felt he was in an episode from a popular television drama Narcos.
Why would he need to go to Colombia more than once?
If that's not fucking sus, then nothing is.
Wait, so there was actually a reference to Narcos in the article.
Yeah.
You sure this isn't fucking Titus O'Reilly?
Yeah.
It was from James Heard's mouth himself.
You're reading this on the Batuta Advocate.
Yeah.
From CH.
It's from what? The Age?
Yeah.
Oh wow. So he actually said that. He
It's
just
in
wants
the-
to be the new Escobar.
It's in the OP of it.
Far out. This is amazing. Like
That's bizarre. Wow.
I would love to just be in the vicinity whilst he tries to sell those. Like, how many hecklers do you reckon come up to him and ask, "Do I need to sign a consent form when I buy these? Can you tell me what's in them, or have you lost the records of your ingredients?"
This is not your average supermarket, though. This is not a Coles or anything like that. This is This is a expensive supermarket that would have a higher class of clientele.
Not once people find out that James Heard's selling chocolate.
Yeah,
It won't.
from Colombia, and he's fucking name-dropping Narcos.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, I would expect
no,
anyone...
but
I mean,
these are not the kind of people that would be like, "Oh, can you get an injection form?" Like,
No, but we're all high-class,
Yeah, we're all
high-ranking
highbrow
members of
people.
society,
We don't make.
and we
fart
would do
jokes.
stuff like that.
This calls for a master troll, that's all of us, isn't it? Anything else on Heard distributing Colombian products?
it was very brave of him to do it in Essendon.
Yeah. And to have an article about it. Like, I know someone probably approached him, but he still talks. He talks it up, so he's clearly in a good place with all these media interviews he's been doing recently.
That's good. Wonder why football is still a love of mine. It's something I hold dearly and I do enjoy, but it's time to move on and do something different.
Yeah, those words really sound true, because he was trying to get he's trying to get into shit last year.
Yeah, I don't believe you.
Liar to you.
Oh, here we go. Heard made several trips to South America last year.
Several. Okay.
Several. Why would you need to do that, James?
Maybe that girl who got arrested coming back from South America, maybe she was working for James in his Escobar operation.
Yes, Escobar's chocolates. Chocolate Escobars.
Do you reckon he's like, you know how all the drug people have fancy Spanish names? What do you reckon his name would be?
El Jimmy.
El Herdito.
El Inyector.
El Herdy. I like El Herdy.
It's not James. We've been saying it wrong the whole time. It's actually hummus.
I think we've got everything out of that. We'll move on to a couple of brief talking points. Anything on Hawthorn's new CEO?
Who's that?
She's a woman. She was an Olympian. That's all I know.
Highly credentialed, good CV. Good.
What's her name,
pick, I
Pete?
think.
You don't even know the name of your new CEO.
Look how high credentialed she is. You don't even know who she is.
It's a
Tracy
Nola gay.
Gaudry. See, I knew the last name, but I forgot the first name.
I hear she's quite the popular choice over on the Hawthorn board.
Well, we've sort of turned into the Geelong board a bit today, following that appointment, because everyone's eating each other just because Yeah, I mean, you've got the idiot brigade who say, oh, she only got picked because she's a woman.
Well, 48% of Hawthorn supporters hate women.
Look, that's exactly why you've got half the board tearing each other apart right now.
Didn't I read that she was petitioning to get on the Olympic committee? So obviously she's credentialed in there. She'd gotten that far. She has a master's degree in management, bachelor degrees in science and commerce. She was instrumental in the creation of the Nitro Athletic Series.
Let's be real. Hawthorn Football Club is a far more prestigious job than Australian Olympic Committee.
Mm.
Yeah, that's because the Australian Olympic Committee, you got to deal with all the fucking swimmers.
And Kitty Childs or whatever.
She's made a good Kitty Childers or whatever, yeah.
Kitty litter.
But no, I do feel sorry for her. I feel she's been handed a sinking ship the same way Roughhead was.
So this is what they did to Gillard. This is what they did to Gillard to sink her. They gave her a sinking ship and then went, look how bad she is. Women should never be in control of anything. Ha ha ha, get in the kitchen. That's what Hawthorn have just done to this woman. Why do you always hand us lemons?
And same to Roughhead. This is why you never put a Ranger in charge.
Oh, poor Rangers. It was Ranger Day on Saturday.
But it's good that we've got such competent hands steering our club ably. We've really lacked leadership over the last 6 months. I can't believe we've had the fucking CEO role unfilled for 6 months. Just shows what a shambles we are. But hopefully we get back on track.
I really hope that Asada are on the case, though. I really want Asada to be watching this. I've just had a look at her recent non-executive dictatorships and roles. Ethics Committee, Australian Institute of Sport. Anti-Doping Review Violation Panel, Australian Government. Director of Australian Cycle. President Oceania Cycling Confederation.
Ooh.
Vice President Union Cyclists International. So she's been on the Anti-Doping Review Panel and she's worked with cycling. No doubt there'll be Lance Armstronging.
Well, he's coming to clean up Hawthorn's mess.
The drug culture.
We're gonna get back. We're gonna get on the gear this year and make the finals. And she's got so much expertise, we'll never get caught. Another dynasty's coming up.
Last of the talking points: the rumours of Nat 5 to St Kilda on 1.5 a year. Cooksy.
Oh yes, please come to daddy. I just want to see them out.
This would add another whole dimension to, we spoke of rivalries that exist or don't exist before. This would add a whole new dimension to the budding St Kilda Fremantle rivalry, which, needed a nice boost. It's been a while since Ross Lyon.
Yeah, it also needs someone to punch someone in the face, but I'm sure we'll get there.
Stephen Baker already did that. I wouldn't mind it for a bit better source in Perth Breakfast Radio.
No, I reckon it's a done deal. At least it wasn't fucking Basil as your source, so you can probably rely on it. It wasn't Basil or Kim Hagdorn.
Or Brad Hardy.
Yep, it's a done deal. It's going to happen.
Oh, the mouse will be glorious. Sports Maniac would probably die of salt.
I think the best part will be when you use Hawthorn's draft pick to get in. Hey Hawthorn, you could have had Nat 5. And they've been talking it up for 2 years, how 5's coming to Hawthorn, blah, blah, blah. And then just to see him get landed with the draft pick they could have had.
They still talk about fucking pick 1 in the pre-season draft, for fuck's sake, on our board. It really is a fucking... The lack of success. Some people... I thought I wasn't taking it well, Go check out the Hawthorn board. It is a shit fest.
Let's go on to... questions. Craffles asks, is Joe Danaher's mustache weighing him down and impacting his ability to kick straight?
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
Yes.
I think it's the added weight of having 3 extra supporters really weighing. Maybe we should get to change to help Joe regain his ability.
Shave it. It's a terrible mustache.
I think the reason it's weighing him down is it's putting added pressure on him. Like, he's being surveilled by police and he's been put on the sex offenders register. He's not sure why.
Well, it did make for a good contest in the ruck on the weekend because it was pedo versus pedo.
And final question from Ilksy, and this is directed to me. What's it like working for a fascist regime that unfairly targets respectable long-term members? And remember, the Nazis were just following orders too. Well, I rebut that. I was not following orders. I Andrew Mackey'd that and stayed the fuck out of it. So I'm neither Hitler nor SS.
Oh,
I'm Andrew Mackey, and that's probably worse.
No,
plenty of Nazi Nazi concentration camp guards Andrew Mackey'd at 2. They just said, nope, no part to deal with it, but they stood by and watched it happen. You're as bad as those guys.
I didn't even defend it. I posted like 3 times in that thread before the
You were nothing but a cowardly accomplice, you dirty Frenchman.
You don't have to defend it to be an enabler.
I was the French. I just laid down.
You
I
were
was
the
not
French.
a Nazi.
You laid down like a little coward boy, didn't want to speak up and say, hey, what you're doing is actually devaluing the title of a Welcher.
Well, it wasn't my idea. It was Chief's.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean any idea he has is a good one.
Well,
surely
it's his site, and I let it run, and I didn't particularly care. But I knew he was going to get rid of it.
His one only good idea was Bigfooty itself. Every other idea has just been a turd.
Plugger is right about the mods. We all laughed at Plugger, but the crazy man's right.
What did Plugger say? Is this an umpire's thing?
No, about you being drunk on power.
Yeah, got a bit drunk on power and all thought it was real funny.
It was real funny.
It was funny.
Okay, let's go to this week on the Bay and we'll begin with Thread of the Week, because that should be shorter. I think it should be that thread, the Craffles Anzac Day thread.
Yes, it should.
Honourable mention to Jasny, though, for the things less cringeworthy than Joe Danaher's celebration. Dan said this before, the picture threads, just posting threads, are generally pretty good value.
I've quite enjoyed Ask Basil today, late entrance.
I enjoyed Sam Menegola.
Oh, no.
Menegola.
I really liked Sam Menegola. That was very good. Sam Pagola. Pagola was my player.
Be afraid, Essen, because our pedo is going to molest your youth.
Yes, Flogstradamus for maximum gornage on that, and great title.
He who laughs last finally got a bump.
Finally.
Finally.
Vestie's worst players been good again this week, especially with Selwood getting a couple noms.
Yes, and Vestie just played the horse again by convincing him that Dangerfield and Selwood weren't going to go in until he put the poll up with, you know, a whole bunch of other Geelong players.
Played that very well.
But yeah, I think it's the thread by Craffles.
Yeah, Craffles with an honourable mention to Menegola.
Yeah, alright. Flog of the Week time. Look, there's only one winner here, and go nuts, Morgs.
There is literally no one. We are not taking any further bets. All bets are closed. The Flog of the Week this week is trade draft. You stupid fuck of a human.
What's he done now?
I don't give a fuck what is wrong with you. I don't give a fuck how many posts you have on this website. I couldn't care less how you feel. Mind your damn fucking business and stay out of my bets. Mind your own business, you little fuck. I will abuse you in real life. Piss me off one more time, and I will corner you at the VFL and I will make you look like a laughing stock. It is none of his business whose team I support. It is nobody's business. It's a bet. It doesn't involve you. It doesn't actually affect your time on Big Footy. Shut up.
Okay, so the gist of this is that much of the reason Morgs ended up in the welching position was because posters like Trade Draft could not tell the difference between someone who lost a bet and someone who turncoated.
Yes, because apart from the fact that I've got about 5 fucking badges that are black and white from the Collingwood board, like where I have financially contributed to being a Collingwood supporter, that doesn't register in his head that, hey, maybe, no, she's a Collingwood supporter. No, it's, oh my God, there's an Essendon supporter lurk liking. No, you dumb fuck.
Any dishonourable mentions?
The fucking idiot Collingwood mods who decided that they would side with Trade Draft and go, you know what, it's easier to punish these 3 people and leave them hanging out to dry than to explain to this retard what's going on.
Morgs, leave him alone. He's clearly not old enough to understand. He still sleeps in a cot after all.
You know what? I don't care how many fucking toys he throws out of that cot. He should have been told to shut up. Instead, I got a 6-paragraph PM about how it is sacred. Your team on Big Footy is sacred and we shouldn't be changing it. Fuck off.
There was an entire thread that Ugak made of Geelong flogs, about a dozen Geelong flogs who turncoated to Sydney prior to the 2012 grand final. It happened last year when the Dogs made the grand final, bunch of Bulldog supporters running around. Reap used to change it to North and go and post on the North board. It's well known.
Oh,
I mean,
Would's an Adelaide supporter. We've got a Collingwood supporter that his name's Seedsman, and his team supported says Adelaide, and no one's ever questioned him.
Where is that guy? That guy disappeared. Since
No,
Seedsman
he's still
disappeared.
posting. He's still posting on the Collingwood board.
And then you've got the curious case of Jasny who changes teams every second week. But it just shows why fucking team board brings out the most special fucking entitled people.
Should not get involved.
Team boards are the worst.
Because I remember
shouldn't get involved.
during the streak, like in 2013, when Bosk had to fucking change his SIG for 2 weeks because we lost to Geelong, the fucking Hawthorn mods decided to board ban him for 2 weeks just because he fucking was showing up and people were getting triggered by the fact that he had like Geelong is the greatest team of all and their dynasty was better than Hawthorn's or something in his fucking SIG for 2 weeks.
I'm not allowed to reveal this PM because you can't reveal PMs, but it is a genuine joke of a thing.
This is really all Collingwood's team's fault, though, isn't it, Morgs?
Yes, this
Scott
is not my
Pendlebury,
fault. It's Scott Pendlebury's fault. He gets flog of the week too.
It's Maynard's fault.
Now that Morgs has ranted, did anybody have anyone else they wanted to give a dishonourable to?
Can I give it to all the fucking Hawks and Cats supporters shit-fighting in apparently every fucking game day thread this week?
Yes, you can. Yes.
Like, okay, I admit we smashed Hawthorn. Yeah, that's okay. You can have a bit of jokes, but it's getting to a stage where there's like one St Kilda post, 50 fucking Cats posts, 50 fucking Hawks posts. Oh yeah, let's all laugh at Josh Bruce. There's that fucking thread done.
Seriously, we had a game. We played a really good game and we won. The people who were most excited about it were Hawthorn supporters. There's a problem there.
The Cat supporters had a collective jizz fest over us smashing Hawthorn.
And then the Hawks supporters, returned the favour the next day.
Look, I've said this before, but Geelong Hawthorn shitfight is worse than the West Horsham one, because at least the West Horsham ones, they stay in their lane. It's all confined to these West Horsham threads that if you know what you're looking at, you don't click on it, whereas Geelong and Hawthorn go and pollute everything else.
It's even on the fucking main board, drafts and training board. It's like the only board it's not on.
The thing about West Horsham is like you see a thread by John Hart Jr., don't click on it. Do not click on it. But at least you won't go into a game day thread involving fucking GWS and St Kilda. He won't be posting his graphs in there. You know, they're predictable like that.
Any other dishonourables?
Since speaking of team boards, half the cunts on the Saints board.
Well, I want to say that everyone who posted conspiracies in that Fremantle board thread, give it a read. It's called it's the umpiring thread.
All the team boards need a dishonourable mention, especially fucking Dr. Mike from Richmond, because this is what happens when team board mongs venture outside the team boards, is you get fucking Dr. Mike posting a thread on the main board about how Adelaide are the greatest team ever, apparently, in order to try and fucking rationalise Richmond's loss.
Oh, you're just triggered by that because you're Hawthorn. Last week's poll question was simply not that there's anything wrong with that, which if you listened, you know what we're voting on.
There's plenty wrong with that, I can assure you.
Who'd you vote for, Dan?
I didn't vote for any of them, period.
You Andrew Mackey'd it.
Yep.
Yeah,
happily.
Therefore, you implicitly voted for Mackey. You want a bit of Mackey down your throat.
So 8.3% voted for Bob Murphy, Aaron Mullett and Nick Del Santo. 33.3% voted for James Sicily. Fucking that must have all been Hawfies. Let's have a look.
Jesus.
Yeah, they were. There were three of them.
Oh, of course.
And the winner with 41.7% was Jack Watts. I noticed you weren't the only one who squibbed that though, Dansy. I'm pretty sure that Boss didn't vote either.
Of course he didn't. There's no way he was going to vote.
Let's go to next week's sense. Cookie, what have you got for us? The coin's been disappointing in recent weeks.
I've decided to go to the Netherlands.
What's on the Netherlands coin to start off with?
There's a coat of arms, which is a lion with a crown, and it's got a 1 and a G next to it. And there's a photo of, I think, the Queen of Netherlands. Juliana.
I bet she's more better looking than Elizabeth, that's for sure.
St Kilda Giants.
Oh, this game's going to be a fucking mauling.
Well, let the coin decide.
It is St Kilda. Fuck's sake, this coin must be on drugs.
No Toby Green, no Giants.
North versus Adelaide. It's going for North.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Coin stoned.
Well, it is down at Blundstone and not Etihad, so who knows, the Crows might not have a great record down there compared to where they'd normally be
Dan,
playing.
can you tell us?
It's not at Etihad. Let's just leave it at that.
Collingwood Carlton. This one could be interesting after this week. They're both up and about.
Heads.
Collingwood.
Coin is a big fan of box.
Bang.
Port versus West Coast. West Coast on the road. Come on, coin.
It's going for Port.
No surprises there. Gold Coast versus Geelong in the Zach Smith Cup.
And the coin has gone for... It's gone for tails.
Geelong. Bulldogs, Richmond.
It has gone for another tails.
Richmond.
Yeah, it's how you get back up.
Fuck off. Colas versus Bryans. Come on, Owen.
It's feeling colas.
Oh, fuck you, coin. Demons versus Hawthorn.
Jordan Lewis Cup has gone for Hawthorn.
And finally, Freo versus Essendon in the Kepler-Bradley Trophy.
Come on, Bradley Gumbleton Trophy.
It is going for Essendon.
Okay, so anything to add? I'd like to begin with, it would be so lolsy if Sydney lost to Brisbane this week. So lolsy that I really almost want to see that more than any other result.
I would happily accept 0 tips if it meant Sydney lost this weekend.
Do you want Basil as your avatar, Dan?
I would willingly take that moron's face as my avatar for a week. If it meant Sydney lost.
I can get rid of that now, can't I?
No. Keep it. Just Photoshop it. Put Danaher in like a cot or something. And then put
No,
that as your
I'm not allowed to change it. I have to just have Danaher. Because I don't want to welch about you.
And you don't want trade draft to get upset.
You can always change your location to the cop.
No,
Please
I've
do it.
got...
Do it.
I might, I'll change my location to the cot. But I just wanted to say one thing. Congratulations to Meb and HBF on their impending birth of their child. That's wonderful. A big footy baby.
Baby Juddy.
Baby.
Footy had a baby.
Well, Meb and HBF, who met on Big Footy and got married, are having a baby.
Oh, so they beat you to the punch with you and Northern Lights. Oh, that's a shame.
What a
It's not a
shame.
race, Dan.
It's
All
not
right.
a race to have the first Big Footy baby. At least there'll be a bit of a competition when, if I have a Big Footy baby, as to who it's going to support.
Well, Collingwood will still be around by then.
What if it supports the dogs?
No, it will not. If it wants to live, it will not.
In contrast to that, on a sadder note, Varley to longtime Big Footy admin Fred, who passed away a bit over a week ago. He'd been on Big Footy since basically the very beginning. He was also the one who read all the support emails, so if you got a ban overturned by contacting admin, it was most likely Fred that you had to thank. And then, of course, he played a pivotal role on the SFA board, which I know a lot of Bay Flogs are involved in. As Dan would say, a true ornament to Big Footy. So, yeah, Varley. But yeah, back to the previews.
I'm just going to point out, I don't know why we're on Friday night against GWS. It's going to be a shit crowd.
Ninth last year.
Yeah, but versus GWS, really?
I think they expected you to kick on.
Better you than Fremantle or Carlton playing on Friday night.
Yeah, like you finishing ninth was probably expected to go. You're expected to go upwards, not backwards. Which probably hasn't been true to form so far. But hey, as Dan said, it's better than Carlton.
Yeah, two young sides on the improve. I mean, Kilda are definitely on the right trajectory.
The
unlike
really
some
disappointing
clubs.
thing that now that you mentioned that I just remembered is that we haven't seen much of it so far, but certainly I do remember when the fixture came out. We are still set for an awful lot of Sydney Friday night games to come. I think we've only seen one, which was the
Not
Collingwood
surprised
game.
there.
Because I'm pretty sure there's only about half a dozen rounds this year where the Friday night didn't have feature either the Dogs, Crows or Swans.
What have they done to deserve marquee games like that?
They made the grand final, Dan.
I don't give a shit. They haven't deserved it.
And the fact that there's Sydney kind of helps, growing the game and all that.
Yeah, so it's going to be a
who
little
cares?
bit like Carlton this year. So yeah, we got that to look forward to.
Oh yeah, they play us on a Friday night.
Oh,
For that game. I'm going to that game in Sydney, so I hope they're still. I hope we.
You shouldn't have a
don't-
problem finding a seat, Penal, because they didn't show up before. They're certainly not going to now.
Yeah, but don't even have a fucking seat reserved. I'm just gonna rock up.
So yeah, the melts haven't started yet, but give it time and they will.
Yes, I expect it to start after that game, round 10, because I think that's their next Friday night game, and it will be a shit fest.
And they're because they're probably all back-ended for the late in the year. And that's when they expected the games to matter more. Anything else on any of the games?
North will probably lose big time.
Well, you're going out on a limb
Yeah,
saying
against
that.
the Crows. Well, it's not at Etihad. They're a chance.
Does anyone give us a chance just based on the fact that it's Melbourne and that's the sort of game they could lose?
Yeah.
You guys, I had a look at your odds earlier. You guys are paying like 270 to win. I'm jumping on that.
I actually do agree with that. This is the sort of game they lose. Like, they actually, considering all that happened, and Essendon, even though Essendon played their grand final sort of against Collingwood on Anzac Day, with all the injuries Melbourne got, they weren't expected to beat Essendon. They pulled one out against the odds, and now that and they beat Hawthorn last year against the odds, now that they're expected to do it, you're right, there's every chance they don't.
Yeah, because normally it's the sort of game where, like, they'd beat us last year and then they'd lose to fucking Essendon the following week with their top. So was it GWS or something they beat first round and then lost to
Essendon. Then after they beat you, they lost to Carlton.
Yeah. So this year it'll be a role reversal. I'm actually feeling slightly confident about this game.
Anything else to add on next week's games?
Dogs Richmond.
I don't think we'll win, but then again, they might not kick straight again.
Teams have not been kicking well at Etihad this year.
Whichever team takes their opportunities will win.
We are without Nankervis, so that's going to hurt. It'll be time to bring back Ivan, I think.
Can you bring Oren out of retirement?
Maybe you'd be better off with Oren.
Hey, no, Big Boy McAvoy's been phenomenal the past 3 weeks.
You gave him a bake.
Ever since I gave him
the shit out of him for weeks, and now he plays one good game, and you're back on the wagon.
He's played 3 amazing games in a row. He's been averaging 120 in the 120 plus in the Super.
Move aside, Liam Shields. I have a new favourite now.
Forget the Sean Grigg thing. He's our best player right now. He is our best player. That's where we're at as a football
Actually,
club.
there's another reason why I'm pissed off with Hardwick. Sean Grigg had to ruck as our second ruckman, and he went from our 7th best player to like our 14th because he couldn't actually play his proper role. It was really annoying.
Oh, hang on. There's this page that I'm on Facebook. There's this group, it's called AFL Banter, and someone just posted on it and said, here is the reason Freo can't ever beat West Coast. This biased disgrace of an umpire does approximately 15 games a year in WA, including 2 derbies. Here, Dean Margetts is attending an Eagles game and his wife is wearing an Eagles beanie with Margetts' number on it. The game last weekend was a sham with another West Coast free kick count 20-13, including 5 goals from soft free kicks in the forward half. He should be banned.
Someone needs to get on there and say, "Oh, can you believe that he was the best man at Dean Cox's funeral?"
I heard he was the best man at Dean Cox's.
You know, that's almost like a perfect troll. Like, it might not even be his wife. It might be a really funny West Coast supporter putting Margetts on their jumper.
But it doesn't even look like a West Coast Eagles beanie. It's just a blue and orange beanie with a 6 on it. It's not a West Coast beanie. It's just a beanie with a 6.
So we need some X-Files music here.
Don't know.
Anyway, this was the Flogcast for round 7. Burnsy, joined by Morgsy.
Adios, Flogs.
Dansy.
No.
One day there'll be something he likes.
We're not running with this Dansy, Burnsy, nicknamey, Paul Roosie bullshit.
Yes, we will.
Why not?
Because it's crap and it's gay.
What's with everything being gay now, Dansy?
I don't like it. It's gay. I'm starting to sound like my 12-year-old self when you were a kid.
Yeah,
something was shit. You'd say that's gay, man. That's gay, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Dan, you sound so gay.
Very gay. But no, Dansy, just think about it. How long have been running with Adelaide Etihad? That's about how long you've got to look forward to with this one.
Yeah, well, that at least has legs. This whole nickname thing is just.
It's what, Dansy?
You're such a sook.
What you like Morgsy or something, do you? Or do you like?
It's fine. I got no issue.
It makes
No
her laugh
issue.
because then you get annoyed.
Because as soon as he says it to someone else, that means you're going to get...
So if I embrace the nicknames, then it's kind of like
You won't, though.
We'll just,
Well,
You won't embrace it.
You won't
'cause
embrace
hate
it,
Physically
but even if you
impossible
do,
for you.
even if you do, we'll just take it as vindication that they work.
And
so
we'll
there's,
keep
no,
to
there's,
it.
so there's no winning from my point of view. I
Now you're getting it.
You can either rage silently or rage openly. It's up to you.
this
Deal with it, Dan.
next week. Yeah, I will deal with it. I'm not coming on next week. No,
We didn't even give
No.
you Flog of the Week this week. Can we give it to him now?
no,
Yeah.
you can't. It's too late. It's too late. You've already named trade draft. Seriously, I am not topping trade draft because of the nickname.
Trade draft.
Trade drafty. Good old tradesy.
Trading
Right.
drafty.
Cotsy.
See.
Everything has a nickname now.
Cooksy.
Our Jacks will be nimble, our Jacks will be quick. Thank you, Hawthorn, for our first round draft pick.
Oh,
And
that rhymed.
that was their banner.
Oh, that was better.
Dansy. That was the one you
Dansy.
liked. And Peensy.
I wandered through a forest thusly and decried, God, Hawthorn a shite. I can't even rhyme because I'm also shite.
Thanks, Shakespeare.
Very poetic, Penal. Warms the
Even
heart.
his poems sucked. Do you remember his victory one? That was fantastic. But now,
Hawthorn are killing him.
thanks for listening and we'll see you next week.